what's so crazy to me is that throughout this last 22 months, I kept saying, hey, man, it kind of feels like you're using a lot of these talking points that you're getting from a nefarious community. And Ethan kept saying he didn't know who the fuck Destiny was. He had no connection to Destiny at all. Okay. And what's wild to me is that he only acknowledged how much he loves Destiny. Yeah, brief moment here. Apparently, you hate to see besties go back and forth with one another. Old friends of the show fighting one another. It turns out Destiny and Ethan Klein are actively duking it out in the marketplace of ideas. I'm just watching from afar. Streamer Destiny tweets video of HD podcast host Ethan Klein reacting to hearing his mother and father being 16 and 21 when they first sealed the deal. Ethan, when he finds out his dad was also a pedophile, sad face. And it's just like a very weird way to argue when you're being called a pedophile. Like, cause like Ethan called Destiny a pedophile because he was, you know, in the process of procuring CSAM from a 17-year-old at the time. So he's just taking on the moniker, it seems. I guess this is a method. The method is to try and basically joke about it, you know, make a mockery of like the haha, we're all in on the joke. Actually, like it's not that serious, when it's like it is a serious thing. It's a crime. So I don't know. And then H3 podcast host Ethan Klein praises Destiny in new Instagram story. You are a very smart and funny guy. I've been following your career for a long time. I took that same chance on myself, inspired by you to become a creator. He hopes Destiny finds the help and peace he needs. I could not believe it. 22 months. For 22 months, Ethan Klein tried to claim that I and my community was doing, you know, CPS calls to his house, sending him skulls. I never for once even said this is a good thing to do to Ethan. I was completely unaware of what was happening in any way, shape, or form, regardless. And now you got one of his allies that he has now turned on openly making jokes about it. Me, after smashing the post button on my last IG story, I don't post on Twitter directly because it's too toxic. So I limit myself to 25 stories a day about Twitter posts, and then stumbling into some free snacks for my kids. And the dude is like stepping on dog shit. So he's basically saying like he's feeding his kids dog shit. And Ethan replied to this in the most civil way that I have ever that I've ever seen him reply to anyone, which is, Steven, using his government name. You are a very smart and funny guy. I've been following your career for a long time since you were cleaning carpets in between StarCraft 2 games. I saw you transition to streaming full time, which, as someone who was also working a 9 to 5, I found really inspiring. It was soon after I took that same chance on myself, inspired in part by you to become a full-time creator. Later on, I came around to your political streaming content, a genre you pioneered. You've had such a long and accomplished career that anyone would be extremely proud of. I am genuinely sad about the great potential that you had and for what was thrown away because vices took over your life. As a parent, you know the implications and ramification of chatting with a 15-year-old. You know how a teenager looks up to adults they admire and how easily they can be manipulated. The time for irreverent jokes is over. You need help. This is a long pattern of sexual deviancy with teenagers. I hope you take the time to understand what's inside you is missing and why that would urge a grown man to flirt with a 15-year-old. I don't know where the 15-year-old came from, by the way. Is there like a new thing that dropped? I am not taking any pleasure in any of this. It's all very sad. I do hope you find the help and peace you need because children deserve better. Now, what's fucking insane about this is that if you're in this community, you knew this already, right? That Ethan was a fan of Destiny and was getting his notes from Destiny's community. Destiny's community had like infiltrated Ethan's community and became like a useful tool that he used because they love cyber stalking people and have sophisticated smear campaigns that they can apply to whoever Destiny's enemies are. Okay. What's so crazy to me is that throughout this last 22 months, I kept saying, hey, man, it kind of feels like you're using a lot of these talking points that you're getting from a nefarious community. And Ethan kept saying he didn't know who the fuck Destiny was. He had no connection to Destiny at all. Okay. And what's wild to me is that he only acknowledged how much he loves Destiny after it came out that he was trying to procure child sexual abuse material. Like, the timing on this is insane to me. Like, you wanted to literally lie about your affiliations and your knowledge of this person for an entire fucking year, gaslighting me and anyone else in your community, only to just reveal that you actually were a major fan of his after you called him a pedophile. What is going on? This makes no damn sense. Like, this is crazy. Oh, no.
We'll see.
To be fair.
Yeah, we'll see. So do you want to tell me what is your evidence that I work with or talk to or have any association with at all with Destiny?
What? Destiny? What?
What? What? The guy that I talk about fucking obsessively 100 times a day? That is like basically like the Antichrist, the Lord Voldemort in my community? Yeah, you accuse me of working with him, knowing him, talking to him. What is your evidence for that?
So yeah, I think that is not a ridiculous fucking claim to make at all.
It's actually insane. And it's a really convenient way of discrediting me when I've never spoken to,
I think
worked with, talked about Destiny in my own.
What's so crazy about this is that after this conversation took place, he took one of the last remaining advertisers that the H3 podcast has is Destiny's second in command. Like Destiny's podcast co-host. Like he's been getting all of his notes from Destiny's best friend. His entire community has been infiltrated. His entire community has been infiltrated, and now they're attacking Ethan for once actually calling out Destiny. It's crazy. How do you not see it? You fucked your own life up. You fucked your own career up. You fucked everything up. What is going on? Oh, shit. Hold on. I don't need to bring that up.
It's a really nice way of you. You know what? I think you're hallucinating, buddy. Okay. I think you are you pulled a meme from his subreddit once. And no, there was a guy in your Discord that's also in his Discord. I think you're hallucinating.
I didn't say any of those things.
You sound fucking unhinged, dude. Are you crashing out, Hasan?
Ethan, I didn't
Hasan, are you crashing out?
I gave you.
Do you have friends who are aware of the condition and can help you get the help you need?
Okay, Ethan.
You're delusional.
I think it was like, I don't even know when. It was after October 7th when Hasan's chat was like spamming insane shit. And I went over it on stream and I think Ethan DM'd me and he asked me, he was like, wait, where did you get the chat message from? And I told him, I think this might be 2 years ago. Yeah, these are so, but I think Ethan is like so desperate to get away from the Destiny controls me narrative that he decides to do his little unhinged bullshit on a stream.
Great. Thinking about this comment just makes me so sad. I had never listened to what Ethan had to say, so thought he might come with some at least half reasonable critique, but it was just a truly crash out and really sad to see. God knows what's going on with that guy. Sorry you've had to deal with friends treating you like this. I mean, it's fine. It is what it is, boys, girls, MBs. Hold on 1 second. I have to do something here. Hold on. They used to hate each other, by the way, but turned their crosshairs back to you. Oh, they did? Nice. That's great. What's that Reddit post D has on his screen? Oh, this was when they were trying to do a counter. This was when Destiny was outed as distributing revenge that he had both consensually and unconsensually filmed with numerous partners to others, including a 17-year-old at the time. His community did the classic, like, well, Hasan has done this too, which is just not true. And in that process, they tried to say that like I had also shared revenge is not real. And the only thing they could point to was a Cosmopolitan article and a bunch of fucking clips that are completely devoid of context to be like, well, here is one of your friends. Here's one of your friends saying that there's n***s on your phone as like either a joke or the famous Cosmo article where I'm talking to a journalist and I'm like, oh, my fans are sending me merch, like photos of themselves wearing my merch. And then in the process of me like going through those photos, there's one that was an unsolicited nude. And I said, oop, that was a nude. And then we moved on. It's not something that I had requested, or it's not something that I'm like distributing. It's just, it's completely ridiculous. But the reason why they do this is because whenever a content creator is in trouble in any of these circles, like I am basically a magnet for deflecting attention away. And those unsolicited news aren't just from women either. There's like dudes sending me pics too. The fuck? And they basically will, anyway, as I was saying, I'm like a magnet for like some of the worst scumbags online, as you guys have seen. So they'll immediately go, well, Hasan has done this. It's actually worse what he's done. And it's like not the same thing at all. In any case, but you'll sit there and call anyone you and everyone you dislike pedos. You're the dead chatter. Is not my fault that so many of the people that have made a career off of being like, Hasan is a bad person. I promise you, please listen to my words. Here is the most cynical, most negative framing of his words that I can possibly present to you to poison the well so you never actually go and entertain what he has to say. It's not my fault that those guys that have serialized this kind of content then inevitably come out as like active, you know? How is this my fault? But yeah, the other thing that I was gonna say is that like not only is it crazy that Ethan chose right now to come out and be like, actually, I was a major fan of Destiny this whole time, after he called him a but what's also wild about this long and wordy response to a guy he's calling a pedophile who's attacking him with way more smoke than I ever did, okay, is that he has kinder words for a dude that, by his own admission here, is like trying to fuck 15-year-olds apparently, okay? He has nicer words for that guy than he does for people who have told Ethan, hey man, what you're saying kind of sounds like you're pro-Israel. Maybe you should reconsider saying things like this. Because that is the point of inception where our communities diverged, and all of a sudden Ethan decided, like, I hate Hasan. He is responsible for everything that's ever happened. If you're pro-Palestine and you're a female content creator, he will call you every name under the sun. Okay? If you're pro-Palestine and you know, a visible content creator that's like actively being attacked by the Trump administration, stalwart ally of the Palestinians / major liberal Ethan Klein will literally demand that the administration take action against you. Okay? He will sue you. He will take action against you. He will call you a terrorist over and over again. He will try to get attention from advocacy groups to try to get you deplatformed. Okay? You spend months trying to fucking humiliate these people. Now you got a guy who's actually fucking, you know, not holding back. You got a guy who's actually not holding back, and this is what you have to say? Like the way he has talked about Denims, the way he's talked about Frogan, the way he's talked about me, the way he's talked about Ian, iDubbbz, Anissa, versus the way he's talking about Destiny, who is super pro-Israel, and by Ethan's own admission, is a person who wants to fuck 15-year-olds, and he's like, I love you. You're the GOAT. You're a huge inspiration. You inspired my career. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I ever even actually attacked you. It just blows my mind. It blows my fucking mind. I mean, all that's left in his audience are these years. Yeah, I know. And it's clear. It's clear that is like the last lifeline that he has designed for himself, which is ironic because like it was very obvious. The warning signs were there. He just didn't want to see it because he was getting hug boxed, and they just like literally completely overtook his community. And now you look at his like subreddit, which is where Destiny thrives and his community thrives. They either like directly take over subreddits, or they actively work within the confines of existing subreddits to basically use it as like a promotional tool. And now his own community is actively criticizing Ethan. The H3 audience is currently in open war with itself. DGG infiltrators are upset that Ethan Klein stabbed their pedo king in the back, so they've immediately resorted to threatening his children with extreme sexual violence H3 fans who think snarkers are the height of evil in the world do not have the mental fortitude to handle the unbridled psychopathy of Molestines Fedeyin, who have been in denial about standing shoulder to shoulder with for the last year. This looks really bad for you, Ethan. The Destiny defense team in the comments is sick. Let's play a game, Ethan. Tell us Rose's birth year, and if you're right, we euthanize Destiny, and if you're wrong, we bust open Theodore. Thoughts? Like, that's a psychotic thing to fucking say. They're talking about his son. They're literally actively presenting a threat of violence to one of Ethan's minor children by name. That is unimaginable freak shit. Like, these people should not be online. These people should stop doing this shit. The H3 main sub, absolutely lousy with these. Well, shucks, I've heard of this Destiny guy, but he seems innocent. And all the videos I've watched from him are 100% correct. So I really hope Ethan isn't just spreading vicious lies and rumors. And also, what about Hasan Law? Like, his whole community is blasted with people who are like, I don't really know who this Destiny guy is, but he seems awesome and maybe a bit misunderstood. And they're just like duking it out with one another now. The Destiny incident is exactly why live shows are important. I watched the VOD on Destiny today, not knowing anything about the situation prior. After reading the comments, it became clear the story is so full of disinfo coming directly from Snark. It's disappointing to see Ethan engage with another creator's Snark community without any research. It's just funny because like they're doing to him the same shit he's been doing to me. And you check their histories and they're like literally active members or anonymous accounts that just recently got reactivated. Yeah, they all hate the crew. They want to get the crew fired. It's just the evil cabal of snarkers. Meanwhile, the snarkers were in there all along, it seems. You warned Ethan that this would happen when he started Leftovers too? Yes. A lot of accounts that disable account history. Yeah. The line, everyone in Downfall yelling at each other and blaming one another is the Red Army's encircling the bunker. Yeah. He's so scared of D is so obvious. Lamau, he knows D would ruin his life if he was mean to him like he is to you. I'm actually crying how nice he is. This pedo, what a pathetic and scared bitch H3 is. Please help. Please get help, my dear. You're amazing. This is not you. At least I hope his remaining OG fans can see that he lied from the beginning about knowing anything about D. Absolute trash. No, I realize that most of this content creator world revolves around pure parasocial behavior, pure parasocial feelings, and it has nothing to do with like any sort of like coherent, consistent worldview. There are obviously people that are in the margins that when they find out about it, they go, oh, this is weird. This is gross. This is not for me. But most people are not tapped in to every single thing that's going on, right? So when they do find out about it, they often find out about it through like commentary YouTube. And commentary YouTube channels are, until recently, directly under Destiny's banner of influence. They were actively sweeping for him. They were actively defending him. They were actively going after his enemies with talking points that were established in his community. I'm obviously one of the primary targets. So most people never actually see this kind of thing. Most people don't even see it. Most people are just onlookers that, you know Ethan is like the Vape Nation guy who yells a lot or something, right? And you can overcome that by just like consistently putting out content in some type of way. And then a lot of people will go, oh, he just seems like kind of pro-Israel and he's become kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with him. And then they just like move on. But the ones that remain that are always coming back and always tuning in and getting their notes from him, they're entirely invested in whatever narrative that Ethan presents. And it's the same for even someone like myself. And it's the same for even someone like Destiny as well. One of my biggest issues, I think, in this otherwise somewhat mean and somewhat toxic space is that if I don't actually agree with someone and I don't agree with their worldview and I don't like, and I see them actively like farming toxicity and hatred, I usually don't, I don't like warm up to them and suck up to them and try to offer them things so that they'll offer me positive coverage. Like I don't actively try to do a charm offensive amongst people who I think are nefarious, bad faith actors. Obviously, Destiny doesn't give a shit, and neither does Ethan. That's why he went from shitting on Keemstar to becoming Keemstar's #1 fan in only a couple years. And when you behave like that, a lot of these other content creators are totally down to be your loyal soldier. A lot of commentary YouTube is down to do that as long as you get a crumb of clout, as long as you can give them something, right? And that has been my biggest, I think that's been my biggest failure in terms of like trying to change the trajectory of an endless faucet of like fuck Hasan content, because I just don't like play ball with these guys. I hope that they'll arrive at the correct conclusion or reorient their moral compass without demanding something in return. And some are, especially with this last round of like revenge distribution and then the subsequent like pedophilia allegations have actually created a massive civil war within the commentary orbit of Destiny's sphere of influence, where they're now actively going after him. They realize that like this is unsalvageable, so now they're fucking shanking him. And ironically enough, Ethan is one of those guys as well. I mean, there's multiple active legal cases and a long drawn out court battle that he's going to go through regardless. But it is obvious that this is like a parasitic force that basically destroys everything it touches. Yeah, like, and they still post it like this. Ethan Klein leaks a story about Hasan when he first walked into the H3 studio years ago. Hasan allegedly went on a 5-minute rant about Destiny to Ethan and the crew. Don't talk about Destiny. Don't think about Destiny. Destiny's the monster. It's so funny that my number one cyber stalker, I warned my new podcast co-host about that he was going to do everything in his power to like fuck up that podcast and actively try to brigade his community. And I was giving him good advice, which he was complaining about here because he was so invested in writing Destiny. And now everything I warned him about is unfolding in broad daylight in real time. Wait, so Hasan is bad because he poisoned the well like as a notorious sex criminal. What do you think the end game is for E? Do you think he's just going to quit YouTube? No. Remember, people don't care if you're right. They just remember how you made them feel. That's it. Okay? They don't remember what your words of warning were. They just remember how you made them feel at that time. And if you make them feel small, they will just carry that vengeance permanently. And at some point in time, when I was actively trying to explain to Ethan like how he was coming across in a heated moment due to his own social conditioning, due to his own inability to like remove what he knew about Israel from the equation when we were talking about like what Israel was doing to the Palestinians, he just thought, I'm right, Hasan is wrong, and he is actively ruining my community. He came in, he brainwashed me, he brainwashed my fans, and he stole my fans, and he's like trying to ruin my life. That's it. Some of the funniest things that these guys will also say is like, Hasan lies about being a social democrat. I don't do that. Membership canceled. The crew in the latest VOD is the exact reason the show has gone downhill. They were so vocal regarding the creep Destiny, but anti-Semitism and there's tumbleweeds. I'm a Jewish man, and this was the last straw. From some of the replies, it's clear to see that anti-Semitism is welcome here. Some of you are disingenuous, and this report is disgusting. Reddit reached out as one of you said, you are concerned that I may harm myself. Edit, calling me a Destiny fan and a snarker couldn't be further from the truth. And the people calling me have their profiles hidden. That says a lot. Our silence means something. iDubbbz was clowned on this for this statement and rightfully dragged by not just Ethan, but multitudes of other creators for it is a statement that is rightfully being used against him and Anisa, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so they're now actively in direct conflict with one another, and they're in a heated battle with one another. I'm sure eventually they'll turn the crosshairs back to a guy that they hate more, in spite of the fact that clearly there is more smoke for one another. Like Destiny has said more awful shit about Ethan than I ever have. But that concludes the updates from the drama segment. Hey man, I really enjoyed the Chad Vice segment. You should do them more often. I will for sure. Yeah, and also because everything's a fucking troll, I guess Destiny has changed his PFP and stuff. It's like this is all a joke to him. He doesn't give a shit. So edgy. Ooh, so edgy. Lower your gain. Your mic is clipping slightly. Sure. I hope you're having a good day despite everything. I am. I'm having a great day. You and Adab got to do more streams too. It was hilarious. We are. Metal Gear Solid Delta is coming out this week. I heard there's a lot of issues with the Unreal Engine, which is crazy. because like the Fox engine was so goated, but I guess like they couldn't use it or something. I don't know.